Hello and welcome all students of class 11th to this new video tutorial on topic programming with Python. This tutorial is common for both CS and IP students. Okay, let's make one thing clear that now in your class 11th CS subject means computer science and IP means informatics practices. In computer science, the programming language now the programming language is Python, not C++. That was in old syllabus. Okay, so from session 2019-20, Python has been made compulsory for computer science and IP languages. And similarly, in IP also, the programming language is Python, not Java. Not Java. So make these two things clear that in computer science now you will study Python programming language, not C++, and in IP you will study Python programming language, not Java. Okay. About from this in session 2019-20 in both CS and IP 70% syllabus was common, but in 2020-21 about 30% syllabus is common. और एक चीज आप ध्यान रखिएगा कि Python is a very vast language. So the some portion of this Python has been included in computer science and some portion of Python has been included in IP and some portion is common for both CS and IP. Similarly in class 12th, some part of Python is included in CS and some part of Python is included in IP and some part is common for both CS and IP. Okay, so let's start with the distribution of marks in subject computer science. Distribution of marks in subject computer science. Now see, you can see this as your computer science syllabus is divided into 4 units. The first unit is computer systems and organizations. In this you will study about the input, output, hardware, software that you have also studied in previous classes 8th, 9th, 10th. Okay, and some new topics are there such as Boolean logic. So we will discuss that also. The main part, Unit 2, computational thinking and programming. This is the Python programming part. It consists of 45 marks. So most of the programming techniques and programming fundamentals you will study in Unit 2, that is computational thinking and programming. Pardon. This I am telling you about computer science. In the next slide I will tell you about the informatics practices marks distribution. And third is society, law and ethics. In this we will study about the different types of threats to network security such as Trojan, virus, worms. Then what should be the gender equality while teaching and some other topics like that. This is totally a theoretical chapter. and this does not ask in the board exam. The unit 2 in case of CS, okay, kindly listen carefully. The unit 2 computational thinking and programming, this part is also asked in the board exam. Not of 45 marks, but some portion of it is there and it forms the basis of the Python programming. So if you do not understand this second unit in class 11, then you may not perform well in class 12th. And in fourth, there is a practical of 30 marks. So theory is of 70 marks and practical of 30 marks. Total, this is 100 marks subject. In practical marks, there is a programming part also. There is practical file, there is project file also, Viva also, which I will tell you later. So you have to focus mainly on unit 2. So we will start our syllabus with the Python programming. Okay. Now distribution of marks in informatics practices. As you can see, there are 5 units. The first is Introduction to Computer System. Again, in this you will learn about the hardware, software, input devices, output devices, RAM, ROM, etc. that you have already studied. It consists of only 5 marks in class 11th. Then the main part, Introduction to Python, 25 marks in class 11, and this portion is also asked in board exams. So next year you will get questions on this topic in board exams also. Now third unit is data handling using NumPy. Now this is also a part of Python only. This is Python programming. 15 marks. It means 25 plus 15, 40 marks Python programming. In CS, 45 marks of Python programming was there. In IP, 40 marks of Python programming is there. Fourth is database concepts and structured query language. In class 10th, you may have studied MS Access, how to work on databases. In this, you will study MySQL, not MS Access, and you will learn how to write SQL commands. SQL means structured query language commands. It is very easy and it is not a programming. Okay, but it is very tricky. So it consists of 20 marks, and the last unit is Introduction to Emerging Trends. This is the theoretical chapter. So what you should keep in mind that unit 2, 3 and 4, that is 25 plus 15, 40 plus 20, 60, 60 marks questions from class 11th, means these 3 units from class 11th will be asked in board exams also. So IP students have to study unit 2, 3 and 4 very carefully. Okay. So what I am discussing today is common for both CS and IP students. Okay. So let's start with the contents of this module. In this module we will study Introduction to Python. Means what is Python, who developed it, in which year it was developed, etc. Then we will study about the features of Python. Okay. Then we will study about the applications of Python. It means in which areas you can implement this Python. This Python can be useful. Then we will learn how to actually work with Python language. And at the end we will learn how to write a simple program in Python. So let's start with the introduction to Python. Okay. So after watching this video, kindly make notes in fair copy of this chapter. Make about 300 pages register. Okay, and then write this entire part in that fair copy. Yes, for CS and IP both. Introduction to Python. Now, the first point is it was created by Guido van Rossum and released in the year 1991. So it is very old language. In 1991, around that that year, Java was introduced. So it is very old language which is becoming popular day by day. So it was created by Guido van Rossum and released in the year 1991. Clear? Next. Most of you think that Python is the name of a snake, means it is a reptile. But this is not true. In 1970s, there was a comedy series telecast on BBC with name Monty's Python's Flying Circus. So in that, the role of Monty Python was taken, and the name Monty Python was taken from there, and that's how this language got its name. So Python got its name from a BBC comedy series from 70s, Monty Python's Flying Circus, and it has nothing to do with the reptiles. It is as simple as that, okay? Next. It is a high level language. You must have studied in class 8, 9, 10 that computer language has been divided into two categories, low level language and high level language. So high level languages are COBOL, Pascal, Python, C, C++, Java, and it is a dynamically typed programming language. This we will discuss later on. What do you mean by dynamically typed? So for now on, you have to only keep in mind that Python is a high level language. So the first point was created by Guido van Rossum and released in the year 1991. It got its name from a BBC comedy series from 70s, Monty Python's Flying Circus, and it is a high level language. Python is based on two programming languages. So in year 1990, there were two programming languages. Number one was ABC and number two was Modular 3. So Python is based on these two programming languages, means the syntax of Python, the rules of the Python languages has been taken from these programming languages ABC and Modular 3. Okay, is that clear? Now another point is Python is an interpreter based language. In earlier classes you may have studied that there are two types of translator programs, or in other words language processors. One is compiler and one is interpreter. Compiler, what is the working of compiler? It compiles the whole program at once into machine language, and machine language is the only language which computer understands directly. So compiler compiles the whole program at once and shows all the errors at once, but in interpreter it only translates one line at a time into machine language. That is why for error finding it is the best. It points out the error line by line. So Python is also an interpreter based language. Means its execution is controlled by interpreter. Now one thing you must know, what is source code. So this can be explained using a diagram. Source code in Python. Source code means you may have learned HTML in class 10th. When you write a HTML program, you use Notepad, and after writing your program in Notepad, you save it. What extension do you give to your HTML program? You give .html, or you can also give .htm. So HTML.html is a program file which contains your HTML code. that is known as source code. Similarly, when you write a program in Python, that code is known as source code. So when you write a source code in Python, it is translated into machine code or object code by an interpreter. So Python is an interpreter based language. Okay, this you have understood. When you write a source code in Python, when you write a source code in Python, it is interpreted into machine code or object code by the interpreter. Is that clear? Okay, let's move on. Now, what are the features of Python language? First, easy to use and expressive language. Means comparatively to other languages such as C++, its syntax is comparatively very easy. If we compare its syntax, means the way of writing a program. Syntax means it is the way of writing a program. So its syntax is very easy if compared to C++ and Java languages. Very important term, cross-platform language. Platform means operating system. Means this language can be run on different operating systems. So what is cross-platform language? Or why Python is called a cross-platform language? Because it can run on any operating system such as Windows, Linux, Macintosh. Macintosh means the operating system we generally found in Apple devices, Apple computers, Apple laptop, desktop, thus making it portable. It means it can be run on variety of operating systems. That's why it is called as cross-platform language. The third feature is free and open source. What do you mean by free? Free means it is freely available online free of cost. You can download it from the website. I will mention it later on. You can download it free of cost. And open source means its source code, means how it is written. How it is written is also available. That source code is also available. That program is also available. So it means free and open source. So you can modify and redistribute that source code also. So free and open source means, so why Python is free and open source? Because it is available online free of cost and its source code is also available for free, which can be modified and redistributed. Clear? Case sensitive. Case means you can type letters in two ways, in small letters or in capital letters. So in computers, small letters are called lowercase letters and capital letters are called uppercase letters. So in Python, small letters and capital letters are treated different. So case sensitive means that is lowercase and uppercase letters or alphabets are treated differently. For example, if you write small a, it will be different from capital A. So this point we will learn later on. So four important features of Python is it is easy to use comparatively. It is a cross-platform language because it can run on any operating system. It is free and open source. It is freely available free of cost and its source code is also available for free, which you can modify and redistribute, and it is case sensitive means lowercase and uppercase alphabets are treated differently. Now what are the applications of Python? In which fields you can use Python? You can develop games and 3D graphics. In software development, means mobile app, you have to create mobile app or desktop applications. You can access database applications, web development, business applications, network programming. These are the areas where you can use Python language. So in class 11, 12, you will not study all these areas because it is very vast language. So if you are pursuing BTech from computer science or IT field, there you will learn the advanced concepts of Python. So if you have studied Python in class 11 12th, it will create a base for you. Okay. The next is working with Python. Now, how do you actually work with Python? First of all, you can use various software packages for Python programming. There are variety of softwares available to write Python programs. First of all, the first is Python IDLE. This you can download from website python.org. It is the simplest IDLE. IDLE means Integrated Development and Learning Environment. I repeat, Integrated Development and Learning Environment. It is what is IDLE? I will tell you on the next slide. Now Python IDLE, this software is simplest to use. So I will recommend that in initial phases of your Python programming you use this software, and there are various versions available. The latest version you will get is 3.8.3, released on 13th May 2020. Okay, so it will run on 30-bit computers also and 64-bit computers also. So Python 3.8.3, or don't install version below 3.7, because in new version there new features are added, syntax is also changed. So at least install 3.7 or above. Then you can use Spider IDE. It comes with Anaconda package. When you search Google search Anaconda installation and install Anaconda, you will get Spider IDE. So from within Anaconda you can run Spider IDE. So this you can also use. It requires more memory. It occupies more memory. So Python ideally is simple interface. Then you can use PyCharm IDE, which I do not recommend. Then you can use Jupyter IDE. Again, it comes with Anaconda installation, and one simple IDE is Thorny IDE. So in computers, if Python IDE is not working, you can install Thorny IDE also. So in our tutorials, in my tutorials, I will use Python IDLE. So I will recommend all the students to install this IDLE from python.org, and the version should not be less than 3.7. Now working with Python IDLE. Now what is IDLE? As I have told you that IDLE stands for Integrated Development and Learning Environment. Integrated Development and Learning Environment. What does this mean? It means it provides a common platform, a common window where you can write your program, you can run your program, you can test your program, you can debug your program. All the work you have to do within a common window. For example, in HTML, you first write program on Notepad, then you run it using a web browser. It is not IDLE. So in ideally you get a common window where you can write your program, run your program, test your program and debug. Debug means remove the errors in your program. So it provides a common platform to write, run, test and debug Python programs easily and efficiently. So you can note it down. What is Python IDLE? What is IDLE? So whether it is Python IDLE or it is Thorny IDLE, Spider IDLE, they provide a common platform. So we will work with Python IDLE. So the first step is download and install Python IDLE from www.python.org. Latest version I have told you it is 3.8.3, and don't install the version below 3.7. And during installation it asks about the path. So it is good if you give the path in the D drive. Now in Python ideally you can work in two ways. So here I will open Python ideally and I will discuss how to work in Python ideally. Interactive mode and script mode. See, I have installed Python ideally, search it Python ideally, open it. This is Python ideally. In this Python 3.6.6 version, now you will see that here three greater than signs are being displayed. This is known as Python shell. It means you can give Python commands directly here. You can type the Python commands directly on the Python shell. For example, I want to find the sum of two numbers. Type directly 3 plus 4, you will get 7. You want to multiply two large numbers. So on Python shell, you can write a single line command directly and run it. But if your command consists of 2, 3 or more lines, then you will not use Python shell. This is known as interactive mode. So in Python ideally you can work in two ways. One, using interactive mode. It allows the user to write one line command at a time on Python shell. Python shell means it is represented by three greater than signs. So it allows the user to write one line command at a time on Python shell which cannot be saved for future modification. Now when I gave the command 3 plus 4, the output is shown immediately. When I give the command this, the output is shown immediately. But if we close this Python window, this command will not be saved. You have to type it again and again. So in interactive mode, you cannot save the commands for future modification. The second is script mode. It allows the user to write one or more Python commands in a program file. When you write an HTML program, your file is saved with .html extension. So when you write a Python program, your file is saved with .py extension. So it is the extension of Python file. So in Python, in script mode, you can create a Python file, a program file in which you can write multiple commands and later on you can modify it also. So this is script mode. See, to work in script mode, go to file menu and click on new file. Okay, if you want to work in script mode, you to go to file menu and click on new file. So, and here you can write your commands. Write Python commands. Okay. So the difference between interactive mode and script mode is, in interactive mode you can write only one line command at a time. On Python shell, this command cannot be saved for future. For example, I have opened the Python window and I am typing the command directly. Now suppose I want to store 10. So I will write a equal to 10. So a is variable. Then I want to store b equal to 20. B equal to 20. Then find the sum of both the variables. So c equal to a plus b. So in this I have written three commands. A equal to 10 is first command, b equal to 20 is second command, c equal to a plus b third command. Now you want to print the value of c, only write c. It will print 30. So it is a simple program in Python. But if I close this Python window, that program is not saved. Now again open Python window and write the program again. But in script mode, what you will do? Go to file menu, click on new file. New file will be opened. Now type your program here. A equal to 10. Next line B equal to 20. Next line C equal to A plus B. So here A, B, C are variables. And if you want to print, then you don't write C directly. You have to use a command print within bracket C. Now save this file. Click on save, go to file menu, click on save, or if you directly run, see there is run menu. If you directly run your file, the shortcut key is F5, then it will first prompt you to save your file. Click on OK and save in the Python directory itself. I have given the name sum. Now see the output is 30. Now if I close this Python IDLE window, the program is saved permanently. Now again open Python IDLE, go to file menu, click on open. Okay, first of all open Python IDLE, go to file menu, click on open. Now from here the list is given, search the name of your file, see sum, or you can directly write sum in the file name box and open it. The program you have written will be opened. Now you can make changes in this program. For example, I want to print the value of C with a short message. So you can write the message within single or double quotes, sum equal to, close the double quotes and then comma, write the name of variable. You can also write like this also, print or print within single quotes sum equal to, then comma C. Now run. It will ask you to save your file. Okay. See the output is sum equal to 30. Sum equal to is a short message. Sum equal to 30. So it is clear? Interactive mode and script mode. In interactive mode, you can type your command directly on a Python shell. See, this is Python shell. But the commands you write here can be of only single line. One line command you can write only. And this command is not saved. But in script mode, you can write multiple commands and then you can save these commands in a program file with extension .py, and later on you can modify this program file. This is known as script mode. Now we will learn how to write simple programs in Python. Writing a program to find the sum of two numbers, that we have done just now only. Now in question 2, write a program to find the area of circle. So I will explain the steps once again. First of all, open Python IDLE. You can search in the search box Python IDLE. Open it. It is recommended that you write the program in script mode. Go to file, click on new file. Write the program. Now program is find the area of circle. Now area of circle is, the formula is area equal to pi r square. Now there is no pi symbol on the keyboard. So first of all, you will require the value of r. R means radius. So I have given r equal to 3.5. It can be in point also. So this is radius. Now area equal to, now r is, what is r? R is a variable. Now you have to calculate area. So take another variable a, or you can give any name to this variable, a or x or y. So I write a equal to pi. Now the value of pi is 3.14 into r square. It means into r into r. Like HTML, you cannot write in subscript or superscript. Okay, this is one way. Or you can write, first of all I will run this program, print in short message. within the single quote or double quote, area of circle equal to single quotes close and comma A. Now run this program. It will prompt you to save your program first. I have given the name area. Now see, this is the output. Area of circle equal to 21.98. So this is the program and this is the output window. So first I have taken one variable in which I have given the value of radius where r is a variable. Then I have taken one another variable a. This is also a variable. It will store the area 3.4 into r into r into r, and then you have to display the value of this variable. Then which command you will use? Print command. In print command write print short message area of a circle equal to comma then a. So run it again. This is the correct output. So we are using script mode in Python ideally. In this we can write a program and save it in the form of a program file with extension .py. Now see the title bar of this window. See the topmost bar. Here it is written area.py, means the file name is area and extension is py. Py for means stands for Python. Clear? Now here it is pi r square. So r square you can write either r into r, or there is one more operator double asterisk. It means to the power. Double asterisk means to the power. So pi की जगह आपने क्या लिखा 3.14 into r square means r to the power 2. Now you will get the same output. Now if you notice that in this program I have written some text which is shown in the red color and it is starting with hash. This is called as comment in Python. Okay, do you know how to insert a comment in HTML? There are two ways. Either you write this comment, or there is one tag also, comment tag. So within the starting and closing. So similarly in Python, you can also write a comment which describes the logic of the statement, but it must start with hash sign. And comment is never executed by the interpreter. It is always ignored. So when you write any text starting with hash sign, it is treated as comment in Python. Okay. So the output is area of circle equal to 38.465. Now we'll discuss the next program. Write a program to find the area of rectangle. Again I will tell you from the starting. Write a Python program. Now see, write a program can be shortly written as WAP. It means write a program to find the area of a rectangle. Again open Python IDLE window. Go to file menu, new file. Here type the program. Area of a rectangle. You will need one length. Suppose length is 10. Then you will need width. Or you will need width suppose 5. Now find the area. Now see, here I have written meaningful names. You can also write A, B, C, but it is recommended by the programmers that always use meaningful names for the variables. It is explain the logic of the program easily to the examiner. So when we see this program, it is not clear what is A, what is B, what is C. But here if we write len, it is the name of the variable. It means it is storing the length, then width, then area. So area equal to length into width. Now print the output, print area of rectangle equal to single quotes close, comma area. So this is the proper way of writing a program. So what I have done, first of all I have opened the IDLE, Python IDLE. After installing it, then go to file menu, click on new file. Here write the program. Area equal to length into width. Print area of rectangle equal to, so the message you want to display should be given within single quotes followed by any equal to sign, means whatever you write within single quotes it displays as it is on the output window. So if I write colon, then colon will be displayed. If I write equal to, it will be displayed. If I write is will be displayed. So the area of rectangle is, then colon, colon, the quotes close and comma, then write the name of variable. Now save and run this program. Now save it rect. Give any name. See, this is the program and this is the output. So I will ask you to write these programs, for understand how to write these programs, and then write these programs on your own, because programming तभी आएगी जब आप अपने आप प्रोग्राम लिखेंगे और धीरे धीरे ये प्रोग्रामिंग आपकी टफ होती आएगी. So be sincere in class, be attentive in class, and make proper notes, chapter wise, topic wise. Okay, so that's all for today. In the next video we will discuss Python fundamentals, means what are different types of variables, what are data types, what are keywords, identifiers, then how can we take input. Now see, in these programs we are, for example, I am writing this program. I will open this program sum. Now in this program the value of A and B are fixed. This is 10, this is 20, and when I run this program you will always get 30. Now if you want to perform operations on different values, then you have to change the values here only, 15, then change 25, again save and run the program. So this is not a very user friendly way. So in the next video I will tell you how to take input from the user, means how the user will input the values at the time of running the program and you will get the output. So in the next video we will discuss about the Python fundamentals part 1. So thank you for watching. Have a nice day. Take care and goodbye.